guys, we're back. I'm back. We're here. The whole team's here. It's me, Luis Gonzalez, and with me is
Miguel Sanchez
and Ed Ball.
That's right. And this week we're going to do some news. We're not going to have any reviews because next week we're going to do our summer movie wager where we try to decipher what are the top 10 summer blockbusters of the season. But that's not this week. That's next week. So tune in today. Tune in next week. Tune in the week after that. You know what? Just tune in forever. Join us in our ebbs and our flows. And the first ebb we're going to jump right into is some trailers. And the first trailer we're going to talk about is The Flash.
The Flash.
Miguel, you were pretty hyped about this trailer. I'm just going to toss it to you.
Am I the only one that was hyped about this trailer?
Well, I've been talking about The Flash since, what's it called? The DC Con, like years ago when the Batman still didn't come out. So I've been talking about it. But I feel like recently in this last trailer, you really got hooked into it.
This was the one. And I'm so conflicted. This is my disclaimer straight up front is in our house, it's fuck Ezra Miller till the day. You know what I mean? Like that, there's some shit going on. It's not good. I do not support that. But I guess in me seeing this movie, I'm being a little complacent, and that's maybe something I need to address and like grapple with later. But this movie looks good. All right. Like I'm hooked. This trailer fucking brought me in. I don't know why. It feels like this is at least the second trailer, but then we also saw like a teaser like a year or two ago, like with little clips. And it's like, I feel like by now I shouldn't be getting this hyped. It feels like maybe the first one should have got me this hype. But man, this one like checked a lot of boxes for me. It
was a good trailer. It hit a lot of like emotional points, and it got through the story a little bit more. I'm really curious about Ed, though. Ed's the tough little nut over there. I want to see Ed. Let's see if he's been cracked. Let's see what's inside. Ed, thoughts?
So the problem with this trailer is, no. So like overall, honestly, I mean, you guys already know I'm like not hyped for this film, really, and I just feel checked out. Fuck. I thought it was. I thought the trailer was fine. I thought it got a little repetitious towards the end. There's a lot of screaming at the end, and at least two of the characters fall down to their knees in despair or exhaustion. One of the two. I don't know. I just feel like especially now that we're in this transition, we also have a new Batman elsewhere, and we're kind of saying goodbye to one DCEU and saying hello to a new one. I just can't get excited. I'm so sorry. But what I'm hoping, and I know CinemaCon is going out right now, and some people we're getting like some first reactions, which I'm always like hesitant to listen to, but they are positive. So I'm hoping I'm wrong. Yeah, they have been positive.
Ed, my reaction is not to you in the trailer at all. It's like, yeah, okay, if Ed doesn't like it, it's okay. We get it. Movies aren't for everyone. It's okay if my friends don't like all the movies I like.
Sure.
But I'm thinking ahead. I'm thinking ahead to the summer movie box office wager. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I was having a conversation with my wife tonight about it, and now Ed's kind of giving me a similar vibe, and I'm like, oh shit.
Miguel, maybe you and me are on the same page because I probably have it up there on the list. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
because I find this to be a huge event.
This is an event movie.
This is an event movie. This is a DC movie that we haven't seen in the likes of a long time. I would say, Batman v Superman, Justice League to me were disappointments, and I feel like The Flash is going to bring in a lot of stuff. Look, I don't know if this is going to be another Ant-Man the Wasp Quantumania trailer situation where the trailer really got you hooked and he was like, hey, you lost a lot of time. I can bring that back to you. And then you watch the movie and like, well, this is a bunch of bullshit.
Yeah.
Here, there was this whole thing where like, no matter what we do, we're not going to be able to fix this. No, nobody dies. That's like the through line. That's like the whole thing. It's like you go to correct your mistakes. This motherfucker, he's like, my life's great. I love my parents. And then someone flies in. It's like, no, your parents are going to have to die. I mean, imagine, Ed, you've been living for 20 years. Imagine Flash is 20 years old. But he's lived for 20 years, and then all of a sudden he's going to lose his parents. His whole life has been thrown underneath him. I don't know. I like the actress who's playing Supergirl. And it's Michael Keaton, goddammit. Can
I say one thing? There is one thing that really intrigues me and excites me in this trailer, and it is Supergirl.
Yes.
All right, so we're 10 out of 10 on Supergirl. We all agree.
We all, yeah. I every time I see her, I'm like, I'm here for it, and I'm kind of sad that we're going to be moving past it. You know, who knows? You know,
and that's also one thing.
And we have. Remember, there's the DC main line, but there's also this thing called Elseworlds, which is where the Batman lives, which is where Joker lives. They're not part of the main Gunverse continuity. So you know, look, they brought Michael Keaton back from the '90s to now. If it's going to make money. WB needs money, then they're going to keep doing what they're going to do. You know
I will say, I think, first off, I hadn't even really considered that Supergirl wasn't going to be moving forward, but you're totally right. Like, it could be a situation where this is the only time we're going to use her, and then it's... Because he's making Superman. James Gunn is making Superman.
Well, he's also doing Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow.
Yeah.
And is it going to be the same... Is it going to be the same?
It'll probably be somebody different. But yeah.
No way.
But I don't know. I mean, he hasn't talked about Supergirl in a long time. So
if
who
it
knows?
does well and she does well, then
maybe they will.
We don't know.
She's Supergirl.
It hasn't even been talked about. Everyone's been so focused on Superman.
Yeah.
No one's even talking about Batman. They're talking about Green Lantern. We're just all focused on Superman Legacy. Superman. Yeah.
Which I'm excited for. I am excited. You guys know I was like optimistic for Henry Cavill coming back. Which obviously didn't happen, but I'm equally optimistic for James Gunn's Superman. I don't know why. I'm just like ready for I'm ready for a good Superman movie. I do appreciate like the fact that I don't know, like I enjoyed Superman Returns way back when. Like that was my first foray into the Superman movies. I've seen the original one. And then bits of, I want to say it was 3, whichever one where Superman spins the world backwards to go back in time.
A classic.
The Superman 3, maybe. I might be wrong on that. But anyway, point is, it's like, I'm ready for a good Superman movie. So a hint of Supergirl here, and then, I don't know, hopefully James Gunn's one is good.
Man, that's just blowing my mind because now I'm sitting here thinking that the initial idea was that Michael Keaton was going to stick around and then they were probably going to do like a Batman Beyond situation with old Bruce Wayne.
Yeah.
And then that got scrapped because of Zaslav.
Right.
But I just didn't think that Supergirl was going to go away. And I think maybe it's just because I've got a little crush on her.
Yeah, I mean,
she wanted her to stick around.
Her name is Sasha Calle?
Calle? Yeah.
Is that right?
Calle?
Right.
You were destined to play Supergirl.
Come on now.
She's so good. Where she's like, has she been in anything else you've seen?
No. Well, not that I've seen.
I just feel like through the trailer, she really like, I don't know, you can really feel what she's feeling. So she can deliver that emotion. I'm ready to be taken on that ride. In a trailer. Watch for the movie, Ed. Wait for her to pull your emotions out.
Maybe. I really hope that it's not like, I hope she's just not underserved. I hope
that that does happen a lot.
Like right now, I'm just thinking Michael Keaton is just going to be a whole bunch of Batman quotes, and then, and I'm sure it's going to be more than that. But you know what I mean? And I know it's a trailer
I didn't know you hate
or whatever.
Keaton so much.
I don't hate Keaton so much.
I didn't know that.
He was my best actor winner in 2014, but he. No, I'm excited to see him again, but like I also feel like yes, I've seen him do is quote Batman, and then there's a lot of CGI action that's very.
I will say this:
CGI.
We said this the last time we were talking about the Flash trailer. I do think that Batman looks better in this trailer than he did in the last one.
He pops.
You remember that one where he like falls from the inside of the silo that they're in or whatever, and he falls and flies and knocks them all over and everything. That didn't look very good. In this trailer, I'm like, oh, okay. Every time he's in the wings, I'm like, okay, it looks pretty good. Let's focus.
That blue sky in the background. He looks great against that.
Right. 100%. Let's talk about the trailer itself for a second. There's a lot of like outside of the trailer. Let's just quickly talk about the trailer. Okay. Several moments that I loved. We were talking about Supergirl. I didn't quite remember that this scene was also in the Super Bowl trailer, but when she's shouting like, "What did you do?"
Yeah,
I don't know why, man. The first time I watched a trailer, I was like, I'm hooked on her immediately. Like, you seem like a character that's going to be engaging. I want to see more from you.
Do you think that's at Zod or Flash?
C is like Zod, Flash, Batman. It's like, who is she saying it to?
Yeah, I think it's Flash, but. We'll see.
I mean, that does make sense because the whole idea, right, is like he fucked up time.
Yeah.
There's a couple of things that so I've watched it several times now. There's two little like theories I want to quickly ask about. I had texted you guys, and Ed and I kind of had a back and forth on it. In the opening shots of the trailer, you see Bruce Wayne from behind. He's got the long hair,
which is a little odd. I don't know what the long hair.
I did think that was like,
I was like, that's a little bit.
I don't think he can grow that hair.
I don't think you can grow that kind of big mane of a hair. It's like, I understand you're trying to make him look old, but it kind of looks a little funny.
He looked Mr. Rogers like a Californian hippie. You know what I mean?
Like Howard Hughesy.
What has happened? So then that brings me to my next point is that he touches the picture of his parents. And when I saw it on the TV screen finally, I was like, he's very green and kind of like weird, like discolored. And I asked you guys, like, is he sickly? Is that what's happening? Is he's like in his last days as, alive? And, he's doing one last hurrah as Batman. But then Ed made the point that I just thought he was like punching people.
Yeah.
And he's bruised up.
I think it's that. Punching people, bruising up, training.
Rewatching it, I see what you mean, though. There's like a lot of discoloration on his hand. But yeah, I just sum it up to bruising.
I get that.
But I also get your point. They could easily give him that kind of arc throughout the story. Like, he's got long hair, he's given up on Batman. Mm-hmm. Time to whip out the suit and get crazy. Or nuts. But yeah, the long hair looks bad.
It does.
I agree.
In that same shot, real quick, while we're talking about this, he like opens the Batcave or whatever, and you see like all those suits.
Right.
That to me, just watching the trailer the first few times, I was like, that's just like how do you say it? It's just like the garage of cars. You know what I mean? They're just like quickly showing you. It doesn't necessarily mean you're going to see them. But then the second or third time I was watching the trailer, I was like, man, would that be kind of cool if he wore a couple of those suits? Because some of them look way different than the others. You know?
Yeah.
And it's like, I want to see the purpose of this. I'm kind of curious.
Yeah.
We could. I mean, that'd be cool to get like a flashback scene. Maybe he's wearing one of these older suits.
Yeah.
It definitely feels like this is a Batman who's lived a lot of these years, and that's a quick way to showcase that just by showing the suits.
Iron Man changed his suit like every movie. Right?
Yeah.
Like,
and also he'll have extra suits because the Flash will be able to don on one of, like, it's a makeshift.
Oh, man.
The second Flash.
That is one of the things that I've been excited for ever since, like, what was it, like 2 years ago when they had that whatever the Warner Brothers Comic-Con was, and they showed like a couple of pictures from the movie, and then they did that little teaser, and then that one picture, it took me a couple times to look at it to realize the Flash suit was the Batman suit he had just spray painted or whatever.
Right.
And ever since that moment, I was like, dude, I love that idea. I cannot wait to see how that like plays out. I think maybe I'm just like really hyped for this movie. I'm on the same page with you. This is the DC movie that I've been waiting for. I think I've been really disappointed a lot with a lot of the DC stuff, and when I see a shot of the Flash and Supergirl and Batman, I don't know. I think this is just like a fever dream for me, and I'm just kind of here for it. Like, I know there are some things that may not look great on it, but fuck it. You only live once. Life's short. Let me enjoy myself. We haven't had a Flash movie really ever. So, this feels like quintessential DC to me right now. And I'm ready to watch this movie. The other theory I kind of wanted to talk about is how these two Flashes play against each other and what that means for the story. I'm under the impression that one of them is Reverse Flash. Like, I think he's going to be the bad guy in disguise. That is my guess.
Yeah, bad guy in disguise.
But there's a couple moments where they kind of reflect that. Like, in the beginning, he like runs back in time to save his family, and you see that quick shot of him as a kid, and the mom is like, "I love you, monkey," or whatever. He's wearing a yellow shirt. But then when they cut to that same scene a second later, when the mom is hurt and the dad's like, "Call 911," and he runs out of the house, he's wearing a blue shirt. And to me, that's like, oh, okay, are these the two different timelines that we're seeing? Yeah. It's not really the same moment. And
he's also wearing a yellow shirt when he's an adult. And he looks at him, he's like, "You got my face." So
that's how you're gonna like, you figure them out, right? That's who's who. Then it gets kind of wonky for me because I'm assuming the DCU whatever Flash, he runs back into time in that red suit that you see in the beginning of the trailer. But then later, when they're on the bat plane at the very end of the trailer, and they jump out with the parachutes or whatever, the one Flash that's in that suit is very like goofy. He's like, "Whoa, how are we gonna fall?" or whatever. You know what I mean? And it seemed like they switched suits all of a sudden. Like, who has the long hair and who has the short hair? That's my question. Let me boil it down to this.
I think the long hair one is
the new one.
The new one.
The double or whatever.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
all right.
I honestly have no clue.
I'm confused because it seems like they switched suits. You know what I mean? And that part of the trailer, and it's like, why?
What do we think of Batfleck?
Fuck yeah, Ed, there you go.
Batfleck. I
last one.
I really dug some of his lines in this trailer.
Oh man, that shot of him as Bruce Wayne, that dialogue.
Yeah,
I think that was like
the scars we have, the scars we wear are what make us, and we can't go back in time to change them or some shit. I botched it.
Obviously,
sorry, that's why I'm an actor, guys.
I love that moment.
No, it was really good. Oh, and don't let your tragedy define you.
Mm-hmm.
I did write that one down. That was Anyway, be cool to give him
I think the action looks good. I think this could be the scene where we go Batman versus Superman warehouse scene, the Flash Batfleck scene. Like, I think those are going to be Batfleck's moments. You know what I mean? Those are going to be the two scenes that we talk about. You guys know how the warehouse scene in Batman versus Superman, that was like the scene that people love. Yeah. I think this is going to be the same. I think with Ben Affleck saying, I finally understood how to play the character, number one. And the fact that they're giving him such a small screen time, it's like, okay, this has to, and it's like his last one, this has to be the one.
That's what I mean. There's a lot going into this movie. You know what I mean? There's a lot, like this is going to be Flashpoint. This is the thing where we're changing into the new DC. So this is like an epic moment in DC history.
I hope it lives up to that potential.
I mean, potential or not, it's going to happen.
Do. I genuinely do.
Potential. Huh? I mean, either way, things are going to change. For the history. But I see what you're saying. Like,
I just mean, like, as far as the quality of these films have been going, I just hope it's good. I hope it's not just one big eye roll. I want it to be genuinely good.
So the guys who did Dungeons and Dragons, John Francis Daley and his writing partner also did the story for this movie.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, that's encouraging. That's encouraging.
Thought I'd get you with that
I'm
one.
here for it. And the directors who did it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Andy not Frushane. Mishevovich.
It's a very interesting group of people.
Yeah. But yeah, there you go. The Flash.
Well, I tell you what, there was a lot of other trailers that came out, and there's several. There's several that I want to talk about, and Luis was very clear about get the big ones first.
Get the big ones in. Give me some big ones, huge ones.
I want to talk about
ones.
Oh God, now I'm worried. I sat down and I was watching these trailers. I started this one, and I didn't realize what I was watching until about 2/3 into the trailer, and then I was like, "Oh shit!" And that's why I was like, "I have thoughts." I want to talk about Haunting in Venice. Okay.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I initially Googled earlier when Ed had added it to the list or whatever. I Googled Haunting in Venice, and I saw like the picture, and I was like, "Oh, it's like a horror movie." Okay, like that's not really my bag. No big deal. I'm just not into it. And then I started watching a trailer, and then Michelle Yeoh came up, and I was like, okay, Michelle Yeoh pretty hot right now. You know what I mean? Like, all right, I'm paying attention. Oh, it's kind of like a scary Michelle Yeoh movie. Like, all right, let's see what's going on. And then it was like the ensemble cast. I was like, okay. Then I was like, is that fucking Tina Fey? Is she in this movie? And then right after I had that thought, it cuts to fucking
Hercule
Poirot looking in the mirror with his little fucking mustache.
We are
Captain
all
Hook.
afraid.
And I threw the remote. I said, "What?" I was like, I didn't realize that was the franchise I was The trailer I was watching.
Oh,
this is not the Netflix series, like The Haunting Hill House, The Haunting of Bly Manor, The Haunting of Venice on Netflix.
I would have thought the same thing.
I thought that's what this. I didn't see the trailer. I thought
it's the third movie of Murder on the Orient Express.
Well, why the fuck did they call it the murder? I didn't watch. I've been so busy. Hang on. The murder. Why is it called the murder at Venice?
Wrote, a haunted. Well, I don't know because it's haunted. It's a spooky.
I'm upset. I'm angry. You can't just take this name that's already been known in the world as a Netflix series and change it to something else.
No, see, and that's what I'm saying, Luis, is like I walked into that going, this is a certain thing, and this is what I'm understanding it to be.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden it just like switched, and it was like, I can't believe this is the franchise I'm watching right now. One, it looks totally different. I think the first two very much complemented each other, like visually. Yeah. Even though they went to different locations, I was like, oh, okay, it's this kind of like syrupy CGI, like ensemble thriller. And then this one all of a sudden was like legit spooky. Yeah. Like he looks in the mirror and the ghost is behind him. Like they're doing jump scares and shit. And it's like, and I was telling Kristen, I was like, wow, I like that they're going a different direction with this. And she was like, well, that's kind of like Agatha Christie. Like that's what she does. Sometimes she writes these horror books. Sometimes she writes these other types. And I was like, wow, the fact that we're like genre jumping. Ooh. That was like
it would be interesting. I was not a big fan of Death of the Nile.
No, that one was not good.
It was not good. And the first one was fun, but not like the greatest movie ever or anything. And that was the same year that Knives Out came out, which was a much better murder mystery. So
Knives Out and Murder on the Orient Express came out in the same year?
Yeah.
You mean Death on the Nile?
No.
Wow, Knives Out came out that long ago?
Yeah, it's been a minute.
Wow, that's crazy. Sorry, I didn't mean to derail.
Yeah, and no, I mean, hey, it popped up. I can't say that I'm like super stoked for it. Like, I might wait for streaming, but I thought, I had the same reaction as you, Miguel, because like when I clicked it, I was just like, what the fuck is happening? I didn't realize it was like a haunting. I thought they were just kind of exaggerating, like with the title. I mean. But no, it was generally being played as a horror movie, and like you even have a moment with Hercule Poirot looking in a mirror, and then there's a spooky ghost. Yeah. Yes, and I'm just like, oh, okay, well, what's It's just like an unexpected turn. I thought it was all like, here he comes to solve another mystery, but now it's like Scooby-Doo in it.
What also was so we like those movies, not Death in the Nile. We didn't like that one. I guess it's hard to say we like those movies, but the first one we liked. We watched that one quite a bit in our house, and we were looking forward to the second one. And then COVID happened, and we didn't really watch it until it came onto like HBO or something. And then at that point, I don't even think we finished it. It was just not good.
Damn.
So if you had told me, oh, they're making a third one and this is the trailer, I would have been like, I'm not really that interested. I'm good. But the fact that it just like I jumped into it and all of a sudden it was revealed that that's what it was, man, it bumped up on my list. I was kind of excited on it immediately.
Well, there you go. I mean, Luis, I don't know if you're a fan, but the original book upon which it's based, the book was called A Halloween Party.
Well, what?
And they changed the title to A Haunting in Venice, but that was written in 1969. All right, Miguel, what did you have next in your?
So if we're talking about just like ruffling feathers, I'm gonna go ahead and start ruffling some feathers. Okay,
you're gonna jump on a bandwagon.
No, I think I'm gonna start a bandwagon. Okay, this is I'm tugging the wagon behind me. You jump on. Okay. You guys, I don't like Taika Waititi. Okay. I'm high key over him. I'm bored. I think the shtick is over. I'm not looking forward to any movie he makes. Cut to the next trailer we're talking about. Next Goal Wins. Ed put this on here.
Yeah.
I started watching the trailer and then I was like, oh, this is that fucking Taika Waititi movie he was talking about. And I mean, I just feel like at this point, Taika Waititi has become very one note. I think at the beginning it was like, ooh, and then it plateaued. You know what I mean? It's the same humor over and over and over again. Nothing very exciting. I think this is a Ted Lasso ripoff. You know what I mean? Like Ted Lasso is already very popular. The, you know, fish out of water in a soccer setting. You know what I mean?
Have you watched Ted Lasso?
No, but I think the point.
Have you seen Hunt of the Wilder People?
Of the what?
Hunt of the Wilder People.
What's that?
The Taika Waititi's other movie.
No, I haven't.
Have you seen Jojo Rabbit?
No, I haven't seen that one either. But only because I refuse to. And I just
Jojo Rabbit was good though.
Jojo Rabbit was good.
But Thor
Hunt of the Wilder People.
But Thor Love and Thunder was not very good.
Not good.
And it really left a really sour taste in my mouth. You know, for Taika.
No, I agree.
So
I'm just saying, you've only seen one of his movies, though.
What's that?
Do you agree with me?
Look, I think that it's coming so close after Love and Thunder.
Uh-huh. It's still a little...
It's
apparently, this one was completed before Love and Thunder.
I know, but I'm just saying,
well, that could be worse. That could be worse.
That would be actually just be lending to Miguel's point. Like maybe it didn't test well or something. I don't know. Or maybe
I've always liked all of his other stuff, but it's just, you know, what's something else that I watched where I was like, oh, I don't know if this is good either. It's just he felt like such a bulletproof director to me, and then as of late,
people definitely went overboard. I feel like it's kind of like the Lin-Manuel Miranda thing.
Yeah, Ed?
It's just like suddenly Lin-Manuel Miranda has like the fucking monopoly on just musical
work. Yes,
which I guess we'll talk about him eventually. But no, I get that. I guess one thing I am excited for with this movie more so than Taika Waititi is this feels
Michael
like maybe
Fassbander?
Come back here for Michael Fassbander. He has a movie with David Fincher coming out later this year called The Killer, which we've talked about, and then and then doing something with Taika Waititi would be just like something dramatically different for him. And I just think like if it's not a good thing, I want it to be a good thing for him more than I do for
Taika Waititi or the
right.
movie.
Like even if it's just like a mid movie, I want I think Michael Fassbender is like really underrated, and he's just had like rotten luck.
I hear what you're saying, and I actually agree with what you're saying. I haven't seen Michael Fassbender in a hot minute. And I could see him being like, I'm going to choose this project because Taika Waititi is a creative director and he's doing something new in the space right now, pre-Thor Love and Thunder.
Right.
You know who else I thought about like that? Was Christian Bale in Thor Love and Thunder. And then that movie, one, not great, and two, really underutilized him. And that's going to be a different thing because it seems like Michael Fassbender is obviously like the lead in this movie.
Yeah.
But...
it's not like Christian Bale hasn't been away lately. I feel like Michael Fassbender genuinely has. Like,
no. But it's more about choosing to work with Taika. Not so much about like being away, but like being like, because he was like, oh, I had to do this movie because my kids were like, oh, you have to do it. Thor Ragnarok was so good, you have to work with Taika Waititi.
Yeah.
So he did, and then the movie wasn't great, and his part was really left wanting. You know what I mean?
Sure.
And I can see Michael Fassbender making a very like strategic choice to be like, I want to work with Taika Waititi right now as my first movie back.
Yeah. I see what you mean. Yeah.
And and I think really that's just me. You know what I mean? I want to like Taika Waititi. I just think more often than not, I'm a little like, oh, okay.
I think Love and Thunder left a lot of people sore, myself included.
But,
and not from laughing.
No, well, I did laugh. I'm not going to lie, but it was just like cheap laughs. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I felt like a whore. Anyway.
Okay, well, those are the big ones I wanted to talk about. There's 3 other trailers. I just want to quickly like bop them. Okay.
Well,
and then...
I could just like jump through one real quick. It wasn't much of a trailer. It was literally just kind of like an announcement trailer.
What are you going to say?
It looked like it was from a video game. They made an announcement for, which has already been like confirmed, like Godzilla by Kong, the new Empire.
What did you say?
Say those words one more time.
Or Godzilla X Kong.
No, say the first one.
What did you say?
Kong?
By Kong?
Like as in like.
Bro, who told you this means bi?
Like dimensions, like, you know, you're like, oh, this by this by this.
I guess it's like a 1 by 1.
Yeah.
1 by 1.
Yeah, 1 by 1.
Like a straight up, like a 2 by 4 Godzilla by
2 by 4.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
How much is that? What's the size of this
I'm
building?
sorry, what do you guys...
Godzilla by Kong?
What do you guys view it as? It's not versus, obviously, because they would have just said fucking versus.
That's good. That's a good question.
That's a good question, Ed.
They just did that in the other one, so it's like, okay. Godzilla and Kong, they didn't do that.
I would have said and.
But it's not. It's deliberately X.
An X, yeah.
Right. Like Batman v Superman. It's not versus, it's V.
When I looked at Godzilla X Kong, I was like, ugh, they're running out of titles. They don't know what to do, so they're just going to throw it together. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's kind of like Fast and Furious titles. Like sometimes they'll just throw a weird, like F9, and you're like, what does that mean? You know what I mean? I definitely would not have said by Godzilla by King Kong. That sounds like they're like this, like boop 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 Godzilla by King Kong.
It's like a brand. It's like Godzilla by Kong. World domination, new empire. That's how I viewed it.
I did not even realize they were making. I thought Godzilla versus Kong for some reason was the last one.
Fuck no, baby bird.
I don't know why I thought that.
No, they announced the sequel shortly after the first one, I feel like.
Well, that's what they did with Godzilla versus Kong. They were, excuse me, they were still shooting Godzilla 2.
Yeah.
And then they were like, Godzilla versus Kong, it's coming out.
This is such a well thought out franchise.
Clearly.
You know, they just knew exactly what they were going to do and they stuck with it.
Outside of the title, it looked bad. Like,
oh yeah,
I remember the first Godzilla. It was everyone was like, "Wow, it looks so real. It looks hyper realistic.
Yeah. Well,
it felt really grounded." This thing looks like garbage. It looks like a cartoon.
Hang on a second, and I want to agree a little bit with what you're saying, Luis. Like that definitely could be what's happening. I read that as I'm looking at like a tease, not even a teaser, like a teaser's teaser, whatever you call that. And it's just like the quickly thrown together CGI, not really
any part of the movie.
It's like when you watch a trailer for a video game that comes out like 8 years from now, and they're really showing you just the tone, also the concept, like the
concept
tone.
art,
the mood board, the tone. Well, even so, I agree. I'm not here for it.
I agree with Luis in that it didn't look great.
Sure.
But like, I agree with you, Miguel. I think it was definitely just thrown together for like CinemaCon or whatever you want to call it. Yeah,
it looks like garbage.
This
is what
it
coming. Looks like. I just think it looks bad. Like it doesn't even look.
Can I ask?
It doesn't even look enticing.
What part did you not like?
Right when it starts out and then all the way to the
end. I knew that was coming.
That's it. Yeah. Okay, got it. So 0.0. Got it.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
well, we said we would. I said we would zip through that one. It was just an announcement trailer, so there it is. I'm still confused about the title. I need to hear.
Also, is the bad guy? Is the 100? Sorry, let me take a step back. It's like when Elon Musk and that girl Grimes had that kid that was like AEX121119 or whatever, and he was like, it's actually pronounced Kyle. You're like, no, go fuck yourself. All right? I need to hear you say it, so I agree with that. Like, I need to hear them say that title. But also, the bad guy is another gorilla?
I think so.
It might just be Kong. They're just like going to have Kong win this time.
I think they're dueling up together to take on a baddie. Like, because Kong...
bad gorilla.
Kong went to his like
a bad monkey.
Right. He went to like his homeland, right? Isn't that what happened?
Yeah, the core of the earth or whatever it was.
Yeah. He went home. He got beat by Godzilla, and now he's gonna be like, "Yo, Godzilla, I need your help because he beat my ass. I need you to beat this guy's ass."
Yeah. The next trailer, Miguel, you were super pumped for. Black Mirror season 6. Coming to Netflix.
So it's less about the trailer itself, and it's really just more so I'm excited that Black Mirror is coming back. I watched the trailer once, but it's not really what it's about. Like,
no.
To me, the first time I watched Black Mirror, I was experiencing it in the moment, and that's kind of how I want to watch the show.
Yeah.
Good or bad, best season, worst season, it doesn't really matter. I just want to take it in the moment. But they did release the Black Mirror trailer. It's like stacked cast. I mean, I texted that to you guys earlier. I mean, it was like 19, 20 different people. That's a little exaggerated.
I wrote on the Aaron Paul, Annie Murphy, Zazie Beetz, Salma Hayek, Ben Barnes, Rory Culkin, Michael Cera, Himesh Patel, to name a few. I saw on Twitter today in all caps, Rory Culkin. Rory Culkin? Like Rory Culkin.
And I clicked on it, and the whole thread was basically people being like, there's more Culkins? This is the Culkin from Signs. I don't know if you guys remember that movie.
Oh yeah, the kid.
He's
with
the kid.
Inhaler.
With the walkie-talkie. Ed.
My people.
He's also in Scream 4.
Good for him. Good for
He's in
him.
Scream
He's
4.
in-
And I love that you're like our Scream guy.
I just
You know what I
became
mean,
the
Louis?
Scream guy somehow. I don't know how it happened. Let me get my mask. No, I'm kidding.
I was kind of blown away. We talked about earlier how Big Mouth, is that the show?
Yeah.
Is coming to an end this next season with season 8, and I was blown away that they were going into season 8. I am, and similarly, kind of blown away that we're in Black Mirror season 6. I don't remember season 5. I might not have watched it, and that maybe is kind of how I feel about the show. Is like, okay, I've kind of fell off of it. I need to get back on. But I was a little surprised to see season 6.
Yeah. Are
you guys watching this show?
Absolutely. I love Black Mirror. It's like it's top shows for me. You know, I can only watch one episode at a time because it's super intense.
Yes.
But no, I love Black Mirror, so I'm super excited to get this going. I didn't see the interactive one because I know people were dogging on that one.
Man,
but,
you know what? I actually did that one.
How was it?
I only did it the one time in the moment, and it was like that gimmick on any other property, I would have been like, shut the fuck up, I don't care about this.
Right.
But for some reason it worked for Black Mirror. You know what I mean? It really did feel like, oh, I'm kind of in the story, you know? And it was kind of surprising that the amount of choices you had, you know?
Okay.
Like and it was only like an hour, like you could do it.
What was it called? Bandersnatch?
Bandersnatch.
Yeah. Ed, you watched Black Mirror, right?
I've watched select episodes throughout its entire running, but like you guys said, I do find it intense and not something I'm generally in the mood for, which I'm sure is weird because I know my movie selections are usually very dour.
Yes. Ed, if ever there was a time to be called upon, it's in this moment where there's so many episodes of Black Mirror, like there should be a ranking.
I feel like you guys have done. Or no. Wait, hold on. I feel like we've talked about this before, and you guys were going to come up with a list of must-see episodes, and I never got that list.
And I guess like me and Luis could do that.
If you were my friends, you might do that.
But I also think that there's really no one better suited to rank anything than our dear friend Ed.
Then suck me off right now.
And you would have to just kind of watch.
You know what I was going to suggest?
And rank these episodes.
No, I was going to say, man, since I'm so excited for The Flash, we should have a DCEU ranking. Now that we're saying goodbye to it.
No.
I've only watched Batman v Superman and Justice League once. I've never.
Well, sounds like you guys are really on board with this franchise.
I've never rewatched.
Luis.
Well, that's what I mean. I never was, and this one's bringing me in.
I really don't want to get into it because we're on a time limit. I'm not trying to go over talk it or anything.
You got 3 minutes.
I do feel like we should have a conversation at some point about Batman versus Superman versus the rest of the DC, because I'd be willing to fight you on that a little bit, Luis. I actually liked that movie.
Oh my god! When Bruce Wayne's a child and he gets caught under the thing and then his parents die, I'm like, fuck off. I don't
give a shit about that. I don't give a shit. Who cares about that? That's not the best thing.
Okay.
Okay, and we can talk about it. We're not going to do it now, okay? But I would like to get into it with you at some point, okay? Because I have actually rewatched that movie.
Did you watch the Ultimate Edition?
I did.
Yeah.
And it is better.
That's what they
Which
say.
is why I got bamboozled into seeing that Snyderverse version of Justice League, and then it was this is not great.
The Snyderverse version was a little bit better than the Joss Whedon version.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay. Well, it was better than the Joss Whedon one, yeah, but
100%.
I don't think it was still a good movie.
How long was that movie? 4 hours.
4 hours.
Well, Martin Scorsese's movies
we did it in one
long,
sitting.
Right? Oh yeah.
We did use a bathroom break, I believe.
Oh, wait, there's one more trailer I wanted to talk about, and then we'll wrap it up. Okay.
Okay.
Because I don't want to talk about this right now. I want to talk about this right now.
Don't add anymore. Don't subtract anymore. Okay.
That's right. Wait, what?
Don't add any more trailers.
I want to keep things fucking equal. Okay.
Okay. Cool.
I'm with you. Let's talk about the Equalizer Part 3. Okay. There's only two things I want to talk about in this trailer. Number one, the actual trailer. I don't care about the Equalizer. I've not really watched these movies, but I like the vibe. You know what I mean? It's very Liam Neeson Taken. It's very
Liam Neeson.
Keanu Reeves, John Wick. And Denzel Washington is I love Denzel Washington. I will watch almost anything he's in. I just haven't watched these, but I would. Okay.
They made money. You know?
They did, and the fact that I thought they were done because they made the TV show with Queen Latifah. Queen Latifah is the Equalizer, and I thought that was them taking the property away. They said, "And we're done." But the fact that they're coming back with Denzel for one last final chapter, it's like, okay, that's kind of cool. But the thing that when I was watching the trailer, I was like, okay, yes, like we're going through the motions. And then at the very end of the trailer, I was like, the fuck? I did the Leonardo meme. I said,
yeah.
Fucking Dakota Fanning is in this movie. And I had to look it up. I think I'm right. Correct me if I'm wrong. But this is the first time that Dakota Fanning and Denzel Washington have worked together since Man on Fire, which was like arguably, I'm not saying me personally, but maybe his best movie. Like people laud Man on Fire as like one of the greatest Denzel Washington movies. Training Day is probably the best one. And then Philadelphia. And then
Malcolm X.
Even Out of Time.
What's the one where he's like in a bank and he's like, I gotta do things.
John Q.
Oh, you're talking, it's a hospital, and it's John Q, baby.
It's a hospital?
Good.
Okay.
American
buddy, have you seen John? Oh, American Gangster. Oh, stop. That's not what we're here for, okay? If you want to do a Denzel talk, we'll do that some other time. Well, I'll do it, baby. So I was blown away that Dakota Fanning and Denzel Washington are back together. Is it a gimmick to get us into the theater? Probably. But it was enticing. It was intriguing. I was curious. The other thing I want to mention is this, and I think we've talked about this before. Maybe it's not happening now after this last movie, but there should 100% be a crossover between John Wick and the Equalizer, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yo, throw in Taken, throw in Liam Neeson from Taken.
You've taken my daughter.
I'll give you $1 billion myself,
you know?
dude. I'm telling you, dude. That movie would make money.
Yeah, I'm here for it.
Miguel's happy hour and log off.
I just think John Wick would win. Regardless.
Against old ass Denzel? Yeah, probably.
Just thinking about those stairs. He would just be like, hey, Denzel, race you to the top of the stairs, and then Denzel dies.
There was one point in the Equalizer trailer where his whole gimmick, I guess, is like he sets like a time on the stopwatch, and by the end of that second, he's killed everyone in the room. And I'm like, Denzel Washington is an actor of a generation, okay? An Oscar-winning actor, a phenomenal, you know what I mean, member of Hollywood. He's not necessarily an action star. You know what I mean? Like, can he really beat all these people up in 9 seconds flat? I don't know. You know what I mean? Is it believable? I don't know. And again,
you know what? But hold on. I did want to point out. I thought you remember when you said in our text chain that if Denzel was the new Kang, you'd be here for it.
Okay, so let's talk. If you want to talk, we'll talk. Okay.
Yeah.
So Denzel Washington as Kang is totally different than Denzel Washington, physical human being beating people up. And Ant-Man versus the Wasp, Quantumania or whatever, his big action move was, yeah! And he shot those lasers out of his hands.
Right.
Denzel has done Shakespeare. He can fucking go you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like he can shoot laser beams out of his thing. The gravitas that fucking Denzel Washington would bring to that role, because it would be so still. It would be so fucking monumental without having to do anything, is I think the best choice. All these castings for if Jonathan Majors goes away and they have to recast Kang, it's all actors that are very similar in type and build and kind of stature, as not just like physical stature, but like in their career. You know what I mean? And I just think Denzel Washington is a step above every single one of those actors. Like if Denzel Washington walked on screen, he would save the MCU. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, he holds gravitas, like you said. Like all these are young bucks, and he comes in and he's like, "I've lived lives. I am Kang." You know, the way that he could command a scene.
Come on, just dialogue alone. And they're even talking about like John David Washington could be Kang, and absolutely, again,
that is very similar to
very similar choice, but it would work. But just someone like one generation removed, baby, Denzel.
Yeah.
I mean, it would just be a totally different ball game.
I think it would match Josh Brolin, you know?
Yes.
Yeah.
Luis, I listen, I don't think it's going to happen. But part of me thinks that Jonathan Majors is actually not going to go away at all. I think he's going to stay as Kang. I do think it's kind of an interesting opportunity if they recast. And I don't think it's going to be Denzel. That's just like someone I think would be a really solid, like the choice. And I would fight anyone that said that. Like, hit us up at Punch Drunk Nerd. Okay, tell me where you live, and I will go up to your house and I will fight you, Denzel Washington.
Yeah, no, I'll join you in the fight too. Tell me where you are. I'll take a flight. You know, we'll have a nice lunch and then we'll go fight him.
We'll fight somebody.
Yeah. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. Look, that's all of our news. But you know, before we go, Ed, I know you were able to watch Beau is Afraid. And did you want us just to give a little bit anything, or do you want to wait to talk about it? Because I haven't been able to see any movies. I've been so busy. I know
you're planning on seeing it, though. I mean, I can wait.
I am planning on seeing it.
I can wait.
I've heard such different opinions on it. I have no idea what is up or down.
It's one that I'm going to want to talk about, so I can hold on my opinions.
I would say this. I'm sorry. I was trying to let you finish. No. I think this is a movie that I might not see in theaters. You know what I mean? But I am still intrigued to see. There's so much dialogue about it right now. There's so much like you're very divided one side or the other, and that is something I'm like, I want to see it. Then I want to decide after I see it.
It was made to be divisive. Like this is one of those movies, and
I kind of like that.
That's all.
Okay. In theory, I like it and I want to see it. But I know myself, and I'm probably not going to see it in theaters.
Okay.
Well, we're going to keep this light. We're going to keep it tight. We were busy boys. I know I'm a busy boy, and we're going to just end it a little bit short this week. We have no review. We don't really have what we're into, but tune in next week. We're going to do a whole episode about us predicting the summer blockbuster hits from 1 to 10. We did it last year, and Ed beat us. He got all the points. He predicted correctly what were the big blockbuster hits, and I don't know if I'm going to win.
Margin. It was a close margin.
It was a close margin. I don't know if I'm going to win it this year, to be honest. I've been super busy. I think I'm just going to go. I'm going to wing it. I'm going off vibes. I'm just going to go feel off feelings.
Yeah,
they're all going to be wrong, but it's all right. I'm going to have fun, and that's what we're here for. We're here for friendship. We're here for bonding. We're here for happiness, and I hope you're here for happiness too.
No, Ed. Fuck you. He said friendship, happiness, bonding, and you were like, fucking Larry David over here.
Fucking Larry David. I don't think so. That's it. So we'll have a bet. The winner of whoever wins the summer blockbuster movie wager, will get to tell us one movie to watch. Last year, Ed told us to watch a TV series that we were already watching. So I think that was a wasted.
I didn't fully watch.
I watched it. I was watching it. I watched it.
Yeah, great. Let me tell you, what a well-earned prize that was.
It was so good.
That's the episode. You guys got any plugs? Any comedy dates? Got anything?
Follow us at Punch Drunk Nerd on all socials. Like every note that we post on Instagram. We work hard for you.